Hey yo, it's September the 24th.
2016, and I thought I would pop in your ear real quick. I thought I would tell you a little bit of something, let you know about something. Alright, if you tend to follow this channel and you've been making a habit of it, you understand, we're not for that pedophilia, alright? We're not for that pedophilia, not at all. Not ever. Alright, so, we're not for that, and we realize, the only way to combat the pedophilia, which we know exists and has been continuing to exist, the only way to combat that is in an offensive manner, in a way that we need to seek out and nip in the bud anything that leads to the pedophilia. Anything. We need to be very outspoken about it. Alright? We need to get to the bottom of stuff that seems suspicious. Alright? A lot of y'all might have heard, maybe you understand that pedophilia is the #1 biggest problem in Hollywood, period. End of story. Alright, if you don't know it, you've heard it. I know you heard it.
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
Alright, so it is the biggest problem. You say, well, we don't want that. That's the stuff we don't like. Alright, how we get to the bottom of who's doing what. You know what? Burn the whole thing down. Probably what the Bible would say. I mean, it's crazy filled with pedophilia. And you can't blame every single actor in Hollywood because they get paid millions and millions and millions. And it's not, a lot of these actors probably aren't participating in the pedophilia. Right? A lot of these actors probably don't know for certain who's doing the pedophilia. But the thing is, certain things are just questionable. Certain things need to be investigated. I came across one of these things. Keep in mind, pedophilia, the biggest #1 problem in Hollywood, and has always been and will always be. Right, I got from, I'll leave a link below, from HollywoodReporter.com. This article, let me just read the headline for you real quick. You tell me how questionable this is. You tell me how questionable this is. California enacts law requiring IMDb to remove actor ages on request. Now, you might be very bewildered, like, what in the world? You might think, why would they create a law to do this? I didn't know that this was a problem. Stating someone's age in their IMDb. I mean, you're going to find out what's their age anyways. All you have to do is Google it. But it's like, so, it might make you wonder. It's like, how much time do people got to have on their hands to be creating laws regarding this? I mean, this seems like something like that doesn't, when you start to think about it, you start to ponder it, you say, well, you know what, this don't make no sense. You say, this don't make no sense. Why would anyone go to the trouble of even making this come to fruition? Why would they? And then you read down the article, you understand that there's a governor involved, and Governor Brown, you know what I'm saying, there's a Gabriel Carteris involved, and all sort of lobbyists involved, I'm sure. But think about that. It's like, what is the problem with knowing someone's age? Think about it. It doesn't make any sense. But then you read the article. Go ahead and read it if you got time. And it's talking about something that you might have never heard before. It's called ageism. Talk about, like, there's some sort of problem with ageism in Hollywood. Right? And it describes it as, like, certain people probably wouldn't get the part and stuff if you knew what age they were. And it just continues to not make no sense, right? Because, I mean, you can imagine if you're casting for a movie, you're gonna find someone who is the appropriate person to fit the role of the movie, right? It has nothing to do with age. I mean, whoever fits the role, that's the point. They created words. They've been creating words. They created the word ageism. It's something that don't exist. So people went out of their way to make something like seem a certain kind of way by stretching the truth and molding the truth to whatever they're making up words such as ageism. All right, so they went through the trouble of all that, and then they went through the trouble of making a law that requires that you can't say what's the age of the actor or the actress. All right, so now that you're absorbing what's taking place, you gotta understand this is Hollywood. You know what? There was a quote that I was gonna read. Let me read this quote. If you go down in the middle of the article, I'm not gonna go through all of it with you. In the middle of the article, it says, "It is time to stop the ageism that permeates Hollywood's casting process." Carteris wrote, "This problem exists." See, he said, "This problem." Did you hear? The word he said was problem. He said, "This problem exists for all performers, but most distinctly for women who are constant, relentless victims all of the time." All right? So he said the problem. Carteris is probably trying to distract from the biggest problem in Hollywood.
Pedophilia. That's the biggest problem.
And what will always be the biggest problem in Hollywood, always.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah.
All right? He's trying to distract with this little problem, a problem of ageism, which don't even exist. It don't exist. And he went through the trouble of passing laws. Him and Governor Brown. Women are victims. Performers create characters and often employ illusion to do so. That's acting. None of this makes sense. So what I'm here to tell you... What I'm here to tell you is that Carteris, if I had any sort of authority at all, and I don't, Carteris would be under immediate investigation all over the place. He's a pedophile, probably. More than likely, he's either a pedophile or he knows pedophiles. Right? But they're going to go ahead and throw this article at you and introduce a new word. A new word called ageism that never existed. To massive pedophilia. They're pedophilic lectures. It's a tribulation. We're balls deep in it. September the 24th, 2016. Let's go ahead and speak out against the pedophilia.
I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.